Here is a sweet story about a cat and a mouse. Let's see what happens when they learn something new about kindness and friendship. In a big, cozy house, there lived a clever cat named Max. He had soft, silky fur and bright, shining eyes. Max had only one aim in life: to catch all the mice in the house. If he saw even a tiny mouse, he would never let it escape. In the same house, in a small hall at the corner of the kitchen, lived a little mouse named Toby. Whenever Max walked along the porch, Toby would peep out from his tiny home and tease him. Toby was not an ordinary mouse. He was very intelligent. No matter how many tricks or traps Max tried, Toby never got caught. Every time he escaped, he would turn back, give a mischievous smile, and laugh at Max. This made Max's whiskers shake with anger. Just wait and see, Toby. One day I'll catch you, Max would say angrily. Let's see, Max. It won't be so easy, Toby would reply and quickly run away. And so they continued to live as enemies in the house. One night, there was heavy rain outside. The wind was blowing very strongly. Max was sitting in the porch, feeling cold, hungry, and irritated. Suddenly, something small and soft came tumbling out from the kitchen corner. It was Toby. Water had flooded his little home and pushed him out. Max's eyes sparkled. Slowly, he went near and stood in front of Toby. Stretching out his sharp claws, he said, "Meow." Well, Toby, today you can't escape. I'm very hungry. Toby was shivering with fear. But he didn't run. Instead, he looked towards his hole and said in a weak voice, "Max, you can eat me if you want. I won't stop you. But my little brothers are still inside. The water is rising." They might not be able to breathe. Before anything happens to me, could you please help save them? I'm too weak to do it alone. Max was surprised. His heart gave a little ache. The tiny mouse was ready to lose everything to save his brothers. In that quiet moment, something inside Max changed. His anger melted away and kindness filled his heart. Immediately, Max used his big paws to remove the mud and stones near the hole. Then he gently stretched his long, soft tail inside. One by one, the little mice held on to his tail and came out. Max held the wet shivering babies close to his warm body and kept them safe. The next morning, the rain had stopped and the sun was shining brightly. When Max opened his eyes, he saw a lovely sight. Toby and his little brothers were sleeping peacefully on his chest without any fear. From that day on, Max and Toby were no longer enemies. They became best friends. Dear friends, Max and Toby showed us something very special. Kindness can change everything. Even when we feel angry or different from others, a little love can turn enemies into friends. Remember, a caring heart is the strongest of all. See you in another happy story. Bye. Alright, little friends, it's time for a story. Sit nice and cozy and listen closely. Let's begin our little adventure. Once upon a time, in a small village, there lived a little chicken named Tiki. Tiki was always angry. She would get upset for small things. She would say, "No, I won't cluck, I won't cluck," and blowed her cheeks. If she didn't like the food her mother gave, she wouldn't cluck. Even when she woke up in the morning, she wouldn't cluck. She was such an angry little chicken. Tiki's home was near a forest. In that forest lived her friend, a frog named Siko. Siko was very kind and always happy. One day, a magical tomato plant grew near Siko's house. The tomatoes were special. Whoever ate them would lose all anger and become happy and full of laughter. Every day, Siko ate one magic tomato. That's why he was always smiling, singing, and happy. One sunny morning, Tiki and Siko were walking together looking for food. Tiki tried some food, but she didn't like it. She got angry and said, "Yuck! I don't like this food. I won't cluck. I won't. She was shaking with anger. Siko asked, "Why are you always so angry, Tiki?" Tiki cried and said, "Siko, I'm so hungry, but I don't like this food. I'm angry. I won't cluck." Siko gently comforted her and said, "Don't worry, Tiki. I have a magical trick to remove anger. I have a magic tomato. If you eat it, your anger will fly away and you will feel happy. And you can enjoy your food." Siko was kind, but Tiki didn't really believe him. Still, because she was very hungry, she ate the magic tomato. As soon as she tasted its sweetness, her anger slowly disappeared. She smiled happily and shouted, "Cluck, cluck, 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 cluck. This food is yummy." Then She finished all her food happily. Seiko said, Tiki, whenever you feel angry, just remember this magic tomato. Your anger will go away and happiness will come back. From that day on, whenever Tiki felt angry, she remembered Seiko's magic tomato, its sweet taste, and how happy she felt after eating it. Slowly, Tiki changed. She became a happy little chicken who smiled and played all the time. Now look, Tiki happily walks through the forest, laughing and singing. Cluck, 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 cluck. What a lovely sight, isn't it? I hope you all like the lovely little chicken. Hello! Do you like singing and listening to songs? Most people do, don't they? But have you ever heard of a crocodile that learned to sing? Today, I am going to tell you that story. A long, long time ago, there was a beautiful river flowing through a lush green forest. The water in the river always seemed to be singing as it flowed along. The fish beneath the water made little bubbles and sang, bloop, 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 bloop. The frogs joined in with their cheerful croak, 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 croak. Together, they filled the river with music. It was like a never-ending concert. In this river lived a big crocodile named Karu. He looked fierce and scary, but he loved music more than anything else in the world. One day, Karu thought to himself, everyone else is singing. I should try singing too. He swam to the middle of the river, opened his big mouth wide, and took a deep breath. Then he tried to sing. But instead of a sweet song, a loud and scary sound came out. The fish in the river were so frightened that they swam away. The frogs sitting on the lotus leaves jumped into the water, and the crows cried out and flew away. Poor Karu became very sad. He thought, when I sing, everyone gets scared. Why am I the only one who cannot sing? And he started to cry. Just then, a little frog named Pali popped her head above the water. Slowly, Pali swam closer and came near Karu's nose. Karu looked at Pali and asked, Pali, weren't you afraid of me? Pali smiled and said, No, I wasn't scared. It's true that your voice sounds a little rough, but I felt there was a wonderful rhythm inside you. And Karu, if singing isn't your thing, that's okay. Let's find another way. I can sing and you can keep the beat for me. Karu tilted his head. Really? Then what can I do? I have an idea. Your big tail can make wonderful sounds when it splashes in the water. Can I really do that? Of course, said Pali. So Pali began to sing in her tiny, cheerful voice. And Karu tapped his tail on the water. Tap, 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 tap.
Along the river, dancing with the rain.
Together, they made beautiful music. The fish, who had hurried away earlier, peeked out from their hiding places. Hearing the happy rhythm, they swam back and started dancing. Soon, the whole river was filled with laughter, splashes, and music. For the first time, Karu felt proud of himself. He realized that he didn't have to sing like Pali or anyone else. He had his own special gift, and that was the lesson Karu learned that day. You don't have to be like someone else to be wonderful. The things that make you different can become your greatest strengths.
Dancing with the
So always remember, little friends, be yourself, love yourself, and let your own special talent shine. Now, if you had to choose, who'd be your friend? Karu, the rhythm maker, or Pali, the singer? Keep the answer safe in your heart. Bye.
Oh,
Welcome to a world of magic and wonder. I'm Sajirita, and today the stars are shining just for you. Are you ready to step inside the star circus? Let's begin our journey. Have you ever heard about the circus? The circus is a magical world inside a big tent. A circus tent looks like a huge umbrella, but much bigger. There, clever animals play with balls, ride bicycles, and even jump through rings of fire to make us laugh and cheer. There are also acrobats singing high in the air and funny clowns who make everyone giggle. It's a big, exciting playground full of fun. Now, let me tell you a story about the Star Circus. In a beautiful green village by the blue sea, the Star Circus had set up its tent. There, horses, camels, lions, and humans all lived together like one big happy family. The circus owner had a daughter named Rose. She was loved by everyone in the Star Circus. Rose had a special gift. She could understand the feelings of animals. Whenever they had a problem, she would rush to help them. She played with them, laughed with them, and cared for them deeply. Everyone lovingly called her Rosu. The biggest star of the circus was a lioness named Susie. Her main act was to jump through a ring of fire. 2 weeks ago, during a show, Susie's tail touched the fire and got burned. Since then, Susie has been afraid of fire. Last week, when Susie was too scared to jump through the fire ring in front of the audience, the people shouted loudly. The ringmaster got angry and scolded her. He even threatened to send her back to the forest. That day, the audience didn't get to see Susie's performance. That they loved the most at all. The ringmaster told the circus owner that Susie could no longer perform for the audience. So they decided to send Susie back to the forest. When Rose heard this, she felt very sad. She went to her father and begged him to give Susie one more chance. After thinking for a moment, he agreed, but with a condition. If Susie failed again, she would have to leave the circus. Meanwhile, Susie lay curled up in a corner of her cage. She had lost all her excitement. She just lay there quietly thinking. The bright sparkle that once filled her eyes was gone. Above her cage, on a hanging perch, a mischievous parrot named Toto called out teasingly, "Oh no! Susie is scared. A lion who is afraid. Soon the audience will only want to see me." Hearing this made Susie even sadder. Just then, Rose came near. She gently placed her small hands on Susie's head and stroked her softly. Susie began to cry. "I can't do it anymore, Rosu. I'm scared. I know the ringmaster will send me away." Rose smiled gently and said, "Don't be scared, Susie. I know you're afraid of fire now, but we are your friends. We will never leave you. You will always be with us." Just then, a magician named Professor Khanna came there. He wore a big hat on his head. He was very good at making people laugh with his funny jokes and magic tricks. His costumes were always a sight to see. He waved his hand dramatically and said, "Oh, Susie, don't worry. I will cast a magic spell and create a protective circle around you." He began chanting and pretending to form a magical shield around her. Slowly, Susie gathered courage and stepped out of her cage. Just then, Tipu, the white horse, came forward and said, "Susie, you won't fail in tomorrow's show. Rosu has found a way to help you." Rose stepped closer and explained, "Tomorrow, you won't face the fire alone. Tipu will be with you." Jimbo, the camel, will stand nearby with water to keep you safe. And if you feel scared, Charlie, the donkey, will play the drums to give you courage. All of us will be there for you. I've already spoken to the ringmaster. Now come, let's practice together. Even Toto, who had been teasing her, now spoke kindly. "Don't worry, Susie. No one will leave you tomorrow. I'll make a grand announcement just for you." The next evening, The circus lights shone again. Thousands of people were waiting. The ringmaster announced, "Dear audience, the circus is about to begin. Please remain silent during the performances and clap only after each act is completed." The show started. The performers amazed the audience, who cheered and clapped with excitement. At last, it was Susie's turn. Toto announced loudly, "Here comes our lion king, the one you have all been waiting for." Susie entered riding on Tipu's back. The crowd gasped in amazement. The ringmaster lit the large fire ring and flames rose high. The ringmaster announced, "Ladies and gentlemen, for the very first time in Star Circus, a horse and a lion will perform together. Here comes our lion queen Susie on the fast white horse Tipu." Only a few seconds were left. Now, all you could hear was the ringmaster's voice. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! With one big jump, Susie and Tipu flew through the ring of fire. Susie was not scared anymore. The audience jumped to their feet, clapping and cheering as loud as they could. It was the first time ever that a lion and a horse had performed together as best friends. To thank everyone for cheering, Susie nodded her head proudly. After the show, Rose ran to Susie and gave her a big hug. Susie gently licked Rose's cheek. That was her way of showing love. Everyone's eyes were filled with tears, but not of sadness. They were tears of happiness, because love had defeated a big fear.